Okay, so today is Friday the 6th of May 2016. It is day 3 on the Cambridge Diet Soul Source program, and I am in ketosis. This basically means that I'm now burning fat, all the glycogen, all the instant muscle energy from my muscles has gone, and we're starting to burn fat. I was 12 stone 8 on day 1, which is obviously the 4th of May. I'm now 12 stone 3.4, so it's not quite £5 off just from 2 days. I'm in ketosis, so you can, like I said, like the first blog, you can buy these things online. Boots used to do them, and what it does is when you're not in ketosis, you'll see that you're usually like somewhere along, which way, that way here, but then when you're burning fat, you're going to be on this scale somewhere. In this case, I'm in the sort of medium range, which is here. If you haven't used these things before, they are cheap to buy, and you don't treat it like a pregnancy test. You don't just like take a great big long pee like a racehorse on it. You just dip it in and out. If you pee like a racehorse on it, it won't work. I found that out after years of messing around with these kinds of things on the Atkins diets and all that kind of stuff. So how have I did it? It's been quite easy actually. I do have a few cheats that have got nothing to do with recommendations from the Cambridge counsellor and nothing to do with Smart UK. I mentioned on day 1 this Garcia Cambogia Max stuff. That's been really helpful. That's off eBay, and the equivalent of the raspberry ketone stuff, that's been really good too. I think that's what's helped get into ketosis only after 2 days rather than 3 or 4. So now my body's burning fat. Obviously the weight loss can be partly due to water, well, not partly, it will be from water as well. And I'm staying pretty motivated, I'm pretty determined. Yes, I am thirsty, but that's why you have to drink so much water on this programme. Yes, I've got a headache, that's sometimes a side effect, as is, although some of my headaches probably caused by drinking a whole load of coffee. There's a couple of things I didn't do on day 1 that I should have done, really, and I advise, if you're just joining me on this one today, that you go and get a tape measure. If you're on the large size, you might need this one, so you can get them all for upholstery, which quite frankly, I wouldn't have been far off that one before now, but I've lost weight prior to starting this. And what I suggest you do, because although it's not pleasant having to do it, it's well worth it, it's really motivating to see how far you've come, is start to do all your measurements. Literally start at the top of the body and work the way down. I've done my measurements naked today, and I suggest you do that because obviously you're wearing underwear or trying to measure yourself over clothes, you're not going to get a real, true, accurate recording. So I started off by doing my neck, and I would suggest you stand in the mirror and do this. So I was around about 14 inches around my neck. Then, let me close the windows. Curtains even. I don't care about doing this. If it helps somebody, I don't give a toss. Right, so you then get the tape measure, and looking in the mirror, you measure the widest part of your bicep, in my case my bingo wings. I know these are about 14. Do the same with the other arm. Don't wear a bra, obviously, if you're female. Doing this next bit, measure underneath your boobs. Sometimes I have to lift them up these days to get underneath there, but never mind. That for me is around about 36 inches. I wouldn't do it with a bra on, and then obviously whatever you are here. Do the narrowest part of your waist, the widest part of your hips. This was interesting because I had to kind of lift up this bit to get underneath there. Widest part of your hips. Do your legs as well. You'll be amazed at how much fat you can lose off your legs. So widest part of the thighs, mine about 24. Some people have a waist that size. And actually, I do both legs because you often find that one leg is bigger than the other. Same goes to the arms. You can do your calf muscles too. But there we go. That is where I'm at the moment. I find it quite frightening that my waist measurement, which is about 35 inches right now, is the same size as some people's hips. In fact, my goal that I'm going for, which will be probably hit around about the 3rd of July 2016, was to get back to there. I mentioned that on my first blog, and go back to looking like this That was me. My waist there, I don't know what it was, probably about 27 inches, and I think my hips were about 35. So my waist is the same size as my hips was then. Anyway, the reason we've got eyes at the front of our head is to keep facing forward, not looking backward. Things that have helped me in the past and I'm using today, apart from keeping track of measurements, the measurements are important because obviously I didn't get that figure just by dieting. I was going to the gym as well, and if you're doing weight training, which is how I got that figure, muscle weighs more than fat, so the inch loss is as important as the actual weight loss. Some of the things that keep me going is that on day 3 you might get cravings, or certainly on the first 2 days you definitely will, and you can buy really cheaply from market stalls, new age shops, these things called mood rings. Now I don't need a ring to tell me whether I'm in a good mood or bad mood. It's pretty evident to myself and everyone that happens to be in my company at the time. But these things do actually change colour. And when I get a craving for something, or just fancy eating, or I'm in a bad mood or depressed or stressed out or tired, I wear this ring because I know that sooner or later my mood will change. Just like when you get a crave or an urge to eat, sooner or later that crave or urge will go. And if you haven't got a mood ring, then just look outside at the clouds. The clouds are constantly changing, the skyline is constantly changing, in the same way that your moods, good or bad, happy or sad or whatever, are going to change. So rather than reach straight for the tin of biscuits or the stuff that are going to have a McDonald's or whatever it happens to be, just acknowledge that whatever you're feeling is going to pass. Good or bad, it's going to go. It's not like going to stay like that forever. So don't go and do your dieting just because you're in a bit of a bad mood. It's all about, like I keep saying over and over again, control the mind, control the body. How do I get myself into this state then? Long story, not going to divulge it maybe until right at the very end when I've achieved my goal. So the mood rings, those are good. The other thing and the ketostix, they're a motivational tool. The funny weird herbal tablets off eBay, they work, and trust me, I did have 12 years in the fitness industry, so I know all the tricks of the trade, or what there was or wasn't available, but those things do actually help suppress the appetite. Now I'm in ketosis, I probably won't even know if it's lunchtime or not, because you just do not feel hungry if you're doing the diet properly, which brings me on to my other kind of cheat or tool for sticking to diet, as I do have a sweet tooth, and that is the wonderful world of Dr. Pepper Zero. And also Coca-Cola Zero, right? These ones do not have citric acid in it. If you buy Diet Coke or Pepsi Max or any of the Fanta Zeros and things, they've got citric acid in them, and that will not let you lose weight. Trust me, I've tried it. I've done all the tricks. I've tried the diet before and used Diet Coke, and I hardly shifted any weight at all, despite sticking to the very low calorie diet. So don't have slices of lemon in your drink either. Do the program as it's designed. But the one thing that has kept me sane, because I do like fizzy pop, and it is filling and it is sweet, and I can stick an umbrella in my drink if I want to, just because I can, then try the Cokes as well as the mineral water. That is not a recommendation. I don't work for Cambridge Diet. I'm not a counsellor, I'm just telling you what is working for me right now. As far as the rational emotive behavioural therapy is concerned today, the suggestion was make a list of dealing with all potentially challenging situations. Long story, but I've said on day 1, I'm doing this for my children. They are coming home tonight, so I've got tea time tonight, and it'd be very nice to sit down and eat a normal meal with them. So in advance of that event happening, I'm planning what I'm going to say, how I'm going to approach it, so that my diet isn't broken, trying to be sociable. So eating is a sociable thing. But as my 4-year-old wants me to look like Miss Marvel, not a slummy mummy, then I'm just going to say this is a Miss Marvel shake. And what I suggest you do is look at any upcoming events or possible challenging situations that you can plan in advance of what you're going to say or do so you don't come off your diet. Don't go shopping to the food hall or whatever when you're hungry. That is a kiss of death. Freshly smelled baked bread wafting out of the superstores is going to lead you straight to a chink in the armour. So make life easier for yourself. Other things I tend to do, had a bit of a stressed out morning rather than breaking my diet as I've done before, which is why there's a recording of me on the 15th of October that it's taken me till now to get going on it again. Rather than going eating because I'm stressed, play loud music, rock and roll, do whatever you do. If food is a source of pleasure and you feel that because you're just getting on with the diet, try finding sources of pleasure elsewhere, like having nice smelling shower gels and stuff like that. Find sensation elsewhere other than food. It's all about listing coping strategies other than food to change your mood. Because a lot of people that are overweight, yes, okay, it can be poor diet choices, but a lot of it they're eating for emotional reasons. Certainly that's my story. And I just happen to I don't eat piles of lettuce when I'm stressed out. It's going to be doing in some Ben and Jerry's ice cream, the fish food one, pick all the bits out. So it's about finding things that can help you cope with urges as well. So that is probably me for today. Stay focused, one day at a time. The only other thing that is a good idea is to notice how your body clock works. I have my first shake at around about 12:30. Because I'm more of an evening eater. Yes, I know it's not a good idea to have all your food later on in the day, but that's what works for me. I've always done it, and if I try to change things too radically, I'm going to slip up. So what works for me is having the first one around about 12:30. I'm usually pretty peckish by 5, so the second one's around about 5 o'clock, and because I usually like having Ovaltine or hot chocolate at bedtime, I tend to have my last shake around about 8. That's what works for me. Can't make a round peg in a square hole. Do what works for you, but in time, if you're new to this program, you'll find what does work for you. We're on 3 shakes a day because I'm 5'7". Anyway, for the blokes out there as well, you can do all the same measurements, not much difference in it. Well worth documenting. Embarrassing doing this, yes, but if it's going to help somebody else, then I really don't care. So yeah, £5 gone and nearly, and I'm on my way. This gets a lot easier from now. Get past those first 48 hours and you'll be steaming. You'll absolutely nail it. Have a look at Dual Dynamics YouTube videos as well, because the guy on there is pretty cool too. And thank you Maria in Worcester, who is my Cambridge counsellor. She did actually put that measurement around my waist. It's a Cambridge diet one. So hopefully, it will be the case, because the laws of nature apply to everybody. If you eat less calories than you burn off, you lose weight. That won't be the size of what was my waist, believe it or not. Looks like a slingshot, but anyway. Good luck, guys. Stay focused and follow your dreams.